Have you ever looked up at the stars and wondered, what if we're not alone? But what if our first contact wasn't with little green men, but with the iconic, white-armored soldiers of the Galactic Empire? That's right. What if Stormtroopers invaded Earth? Grab your blasters, or maybe just some popcorn, because we're about to dive into a galaxy of possibilities. First, let's picture the scene. A sky filled not with fluffy clouds, but with the ominous silhouette of an Imperial Star Destroyer. It hangs there, a dagger pointed at the heart of our world. Then, thousands of landing craft descend, streaking through the atmosphere like malevolent meteors. The doors hiss open, and out march legions of stormtroopers, their E-11 blaster rifles held at the ready. Panic would be an understatement. It would be global, instantaneous chaos. Now, let's talk about the invasion itself. Stormtroopers, despite their notoriously bad aim in the movies, are a formidable force. They're trained from birth, fanatically loyal, and equipped with armor that can deflect shrapnel and glancing energy bolts. Their sheer numbers would be overwhelming. An Imperial Legion consists of over 8,000 troopers. A single Star Destroyer can carry an entire legion, plus walkers, speeder bikes, and other support vehicles. If the Empire decided to invade Earth in force, we'd be facing millions of these soldiers. Our world's armies would mount a defense, of course. Fighter jets would scramble to meet TIE fighters in the skies. Tanks would roll out to meet AT-AT walkers on the ground, and our soldiers would engage the stormtroopers in brutal urban combat. But here's the reality check. We're fighting a force with interstellar technology. Our bullets might struggle to penetrate their armor effectively, while their blaster bolts would slice through our cover like a hot knife through butter. Our communication systems, our power grids, our satellites, all would be prime targets for the Empire's advanced electronic warfare and orbital bombardment. The initial battles would be devastating. The Empire's strategy isn't just about brute force, it's about shock and awe. They'd target major population centers, government buildings, and military bases simultaneously. Imagine the Eiffel Tower crumbling under turbolaser fire, or AT-ATs marching through Times Square. The goal is to break our will to fight, to make us feel so utterly outmatched that surrender seems like the only option. And for many, it would be. But humanity is resilient. We don't give up easily. After the initial shock, a new kind of war would begin, a guerrilla war. From the dense jungles of the Amazon to the sprawling concrete canyons of our cities, resistance cells would form. These new rebels wouldn't be fighting in open fields. They'd be using hit-and-run tactics, sabotage, and their intimate knowledge of the terrain. A stormtrooper patrol might be unstoppable in a straight firefight, but they're vulnerable to an ambush in a subway tunnel or a booby trap in a forest. This is where the stormtroopers' weaknesses would start to show. Their standardized tactics and equipment are designed for galactic conquest, not for dealing with the unique and varied environments of a single, highly diverse planet like Earth. They're not prepared for our planet's weather extremes, diseases, or the sheer stubbornness of its people. We've seen in the stories that stormtroopers can be outsmarted and outmaneuvered by smaller, more agile forces. Their rigid command structure can be slow to adapt to unconventional warfare. The Empire would respond by tightening its grip. They'd establish garrisons in every major city, imposing curfews, rationing supplies, and setting up checkpoints. Imperial propaganda would flood the airwaves, trying to convince us that submission is peace and that the Empire brings order. They'd recruit collaborators and informants, turning neighbor against neighbor. Life under Imperial rule would be bleak. Our freedom, our culture, our very identity would be suppressed. The Earth would become just another numbered planet in the vast, uncaring machine of the Empire. But what about the stormtroopers themselves? We often see them as faceless automatons, but they are human, at least most of them. On a long-term occupation of a hostile world like Earth, morale would surely suffer. They'd be far from home, fighting a population that despises them, and constantly looking over their shoulders for the next attack. Some might begin to question their orders. We might see defections, troopers who, like Finn, decide they can no longer be a part of the oppressive regime. These defectors could provide the resistance with invaluable intelligence, equipment, and training. The technological gap would also start to close. Humans are incredibly resourceful. We'd capture blaster rifles and learn how to replicate or counter them. We'd analyze their armor to find its weak points. Our scientists and engineers would work feverishly to reverse engineer their technology, looking for any edge we could get. A captured TIE fighter could become the blueprint for a new generation of our own starfighters. It would be a slow, arduous process, but over time, we would adapt and innovate. The ultimate outcome of this invasion is hard to predict. Would we be crushed under the Empire's boot, another forgotten world in a vast galaxy? Or would our planet become the spark that ignites a larger rebellion? Perhaps our relentless resistance would prove too costly for the Empire to sustain. Occupying a planet of 8 billion defiant people is a logistical nightmare, even for a galactic superpower. The cost in troopers, resources, and ships might eventually lead the Empire to cut its losses and abandon the planet, leaving behind a scarred but free Earth. A Stormtrooper invasion would be the greatest trial humanity has ever faced. It would be a story of unimaginable loss and destruction, but also one of incredible bravery, ingenuity, and unity. It would force us to put aside our differences and fight for the one thing we all share, our home. We'd learn the hard way that freedom isn't just given, it's earned, and sometimes it must be fought for against overwhelming odds. The white armor of the Stormtrooper would become a symbol, not just of oppression, but of our own strength in the face of it. So, the next time you see a Stormtrooper, maybe give a little nod of respect, not for the Empire they serve, but for the reminder of what humanity could achieve if we ever had to face them. Thanks so much for joining me on this wild what-if scenario. If you enjoyed this journey into a galaxy far, far away, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into your favorite universes. Let me know in the comments what you think would happen if the Empire came knocking. Until next time, stay curious.